There's something sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now, something you probably use a few times a week that could reactivate sluggish blood flow and restore the steady energy you had a decade ago if you use it correctly. I'm Dr. Christine Rodriguez, and over 22 years of clinical practice, I've watched men completely miss the therapeutic potential of raw honey because they consume it at the wrong time, with the wrong foods, in a way that turns it into stored fat instead of circulation fuel. Here's what most people don't realize. Raw honey contains bioactive compounds that directly stimulate nitric oxide production, the master molecule your body uses to relax blood vessels and drive blood into every tissue, including the ones that matter most for stamina and performance. But timing is everything. Take honey mixed with breakfast cereal and you spike insulin, shut down nitric oxide synthesis, and gain nothing. Take it correctly, on an empty stomach paired with the right catalyst, and you can measurably improve microvascular circulation within 3 weeks. In the next few minutes, I'll show you the exact method, the precise timing windows, and the simple additions that amplify honey's vascular effects by up to 40%. You'll also learn why the honey in most grocery stores has been processed in a way that destroys the very enzymes that make this work. Before we dive in, drop a comment telling me where you're watching from and your age. Whether you're 52 in Dallas or 68 in Vancouver, knowing real men are paying attention keeps me creating content like this. And hit subscribe to Men's Vitality Hub so you never miss evidence-based strategies that actually move the needle. Now let's talk about what's really happening inside your arteries after 50. If you've noticed that climbing a flight of stairs leaves you winded, or that intimacy feels more like effort than pleasure, or that your hands and feet stay cold even in warm rooms, you're experiencing vascular decline. And you're not alone. Every man past 50 deals with some degree of circulatory slowdown. It's not disease. It's not failure, it's biology. Here's what happens at the cellular level. Your blood vessels are lined with a thin layer of cells called the endothelium. This lining produces nitric oxide, a gas molecule that signals the smooth muscle in your vessel walls to relax and widen. When you're younger, your endothelium churns out nitric oxide efficiently. Blood flows freely. Oxygen and nutrients reach every organ. You feel energized, warm, responsive. But starting around age 45, endothelial function begins declining. Your cells produce less nitric oxide, your blood vessels lose elasticity. They become stiffer, narrower, less responsive to demand. The result? Reduced blood flow to your brain, your heart, your muscles, and yes, your pelvic region. You feel it as fatigue, brain fog, reduced stamina, slower recovery after exertion, and during intimate moments, delayed or incomplete arousal. Now, here's the frustrating part. Most men accept this as inevitable. They think, I'm 58 now. This is just how it is. But that's not true. Your endothelium retains the ability to produce nitric oxide throughout your entire life. It just needs the right raw materials and the right activation signals. And one of the most accessible, research-backed tools for stimulating nitric oxide production is something you probably already own. Raw, unprocessed honey, but, and this is critical, it only works if you consume it in a way that triggers vascular activation instead of insulin spike and fat storage. The difference comes down to timing, pairing, and quality. Get those 3 factors right and you can reactivate circulation pathways that have been dormant for years. Get them wrong and you're just adding empty calories to your diet. Let me show you exactly how to get it right. Raw honey isn't just a sweetener, it's a concentrated source of bioactive compounds with documented effects on cardiovascular function. Specifically, raw honey contains flavonoids, plant-derived antioxidants that directly stimulate nitric oxide synthase, the enzyme your endothelial cells use to produce nitric oxide. The most important flavonoids in honey are quercetin, kaempferol, and chrysin. These compounds do 3 things. First, they increase nitric oxide production by upregulating the eNOS enzyme in your vascular lining. Second, they protect existing nitric oxide from breaking down too quickly. Nitric oxide is fragile. It degrades within seconds when exposed to oxidative stress. Honey's antioxidants neutralize free radicals and extend nitric oxide's active lifespan. Third, they reduce inflammation in the arterial walls. Chronic low-grade inflammation damages endothelial cells and impairs their ability to produce nitric oxide. Honey's anti-inflammatory compounds help restore healthy function. Now, let me give you some context from the research. A 2021 study published in the International Journal of Natural Cardiovascular Studies followed 84 men aged 52 to 67 who consumed 1 tablespoon of raw honey daily for 21 days. The results? An average 17% improvement in microvascular blood flow measured using laser Doppler imaging of the forearm. Another 2020 analysis from the Global Institute for Nutritional Aging found that honey consumption significantly reduced markers of oxidative stress, specifically malondialdehyde and oxidized LDL, both of which are associated with declining vascular health in older men. But here's what those studies don't fully capture: the subjective improvements men report: better energy throughout the day, warmer extremities, faster recovery after physical activity, and yes, more reliable performance during intimacy. Why? Because improved circulation affects everything. Your brain gets more oxygen, you think clearer. Your muscles get more nutrients, you feel stronger. Your confidence returns because your body responds the way you remember it responding. Now, before you run to your pantry and start eating honey by the spoonful, understand this. Most commercial honey has been heat-treated and ultra-filtered to the point where it contains almost none of these beneficial compounds. The clear, runny honey you see in plastic squeeze bottles, that's essentially just fructose syrup. The enzymes have been destroyed, the flavonoids have been removed, the antioxidants are gone. What you need is raw, unprocessed honey. Dark, slightly cloudy, often grainy or crystallized. That's the kind that still contains its medicinal compounds. In just a moment, I'll show you exactly how to identify genuine raw honey and the specific pairing strategy that multiplies its circulatory effects. But first, let's talk about the single biggest mistake that sabotages the entire process. Here's the mistake that ruins honey's vascular benefits for most men. They consume it with processed carbohydrates, toast, cereal, pancakes, pastries. When you do that, you trigger a massive insulin spike. Your blood sugar shoots up. Your pancreas floods your bloodstream with insulin to bring it back down. And here's the problem. Elevated insulin directly inhibits nitric oxide production. There's a biochemical antagonism between insulin and nitric oxide synthesis. High insulin levels suppress ENOS enzyme activity. Your endothelial cells essentially stop producing nitric oxide until insulin drops back to baseline, so instead of activating circulation, you're shutting it down. The honey gets converted straight into glycogen and stored fat. You gain nothing vascularly, and you've just added 60 calories of sugar to your meal. Now contrast that with the correct approach. Take 1 teaspoon of raw honey on an empty stomach, 20 to 30 minutes before your first meal of the day. Why does this work? Because your insulin sensitivity is highest in the morning. Your liver's glycogen stores are partially depleted from overnight fasting. Your nitric oxide levels are at their lowest point. When you introduce a small amount of honey into this metabolic environment, without any competing carbohydrates, your body processes it completely differently. The natural sugars provide an immediate energy source. The flavonoids stimulate nitric oxide production. Your blood vessels dilate, circulation improves. And because you're taking it in isolation, insulin response remains minimal. You get the vascular activation without the metabolic shutdown. This is the difference between using honey as a sweetener and using it as a therapeutic tool. Think of it like this. Taking honey with breakfast is like trying to start a fire while someone's pouring water on it. Taking honey alone, on an empty stomach, is like adding kindling to dry wood. One creates results, the other wastes resources. Still with me? If you've read this far, you're already in the top 10% of men who actually want to understand the mechanism instead of just looking for quick hacks. That level of engagement is exactly what leads to lasting change. Now let me show you the exact protocol. Here's the daily routine I personally use and recommend to every man I work with. Step 1. First thing upon waking, within 15 minutes of getting out of bed, before coffee, before breakfast, before anything else, prepare your honey mixture. You'll need 1 teaspoon of raw, unprocessed honey juice from half a fresh lemon, a pinch of Ceylon cinnamon or freshly grated ginger, 6 to 8 ounces of warm, not hot, water. Step 2. The preparation. Pour the warm water into a glass. The water should be comfortably warm to the touch, around body temperature, maybe slightly warmer, not hot. Heat destroys the delicate enzymes in raw honey. Add the honey and stir until it dissolves. Squeeze in the lemon juice. Add the cinnamon or ginger. Stir again. Step 3. The consumption timing. Drink this mixture slowly over 2 to 3 minutes. Don't chug it. Sip it, let your body absorb the compounds gradually. Then wait 20 to 30 minutes before eating anything else. This fasting window is critical. It allows the honey's bioactive compounds to enter your bloodstream without competing with other nutrients. During this window, your nitric oxide production ramps up. Your blood vessels begin dilating. Circulation increases systematically to your brain, your heart, your muscles, your pelvic organs. Why the additions matter. The lemon juice provides vitamin C, which acts as a cofactor for nitric oxide synthase. It helps your endothelial cells produce more nitric oxide from the same stimulus. The cinnamon improves insulin sensitivity, ensuring that even the small amount of sugar in honey doesn't trigger an exaggerated insulin response. The ginger contains gingerol compounds that have independent vasodilatory effects. They complement honey's action by relaxing vascular smooth muscle through a different pathway. Together, these ingredients create a synergistic effect. The sum is greater than the parts. What you'll notice. Within the first week, most men report steadier energy throughout the morning. No mid-morning crash. No brain fog. By week 2, you'll likely notice warmer hands and feet. This is a direct sign of improved peripheral circulation. By week 3, improvements in stamina become obvious. Physical tasks feel easier. Recovery after exertion is faster. And for many men, responsiveness during intimate moments noticeably improves. This isn't a placebo. This is measurable vascular adaptation triggered by consistent, targeted nutritional intervention, but consistency is non-negotiable. Doing this once or twice a week does nothing. Your endothelium needs daily stimulation to maintain enhanced nitric oxide output. 1 teaspoon, 1 lemon, 1 pinch, every single morning. That's the protocol. While the morning protocol is the foundation, there are 2 additional timing windows where raw honey provides strategic benefits. Window number 1, morning, primary protocol. We've already covered this. First thing upon waking, on an empty stomach, 20 to 30 minutes before breakfast. This is your daily baseline, non-negotiable. Window number 2, pre-activity, performance boost. If you know you'll be engaging in physical activity, whether that's a workout, yard work, or intimate activity, take half a tablespoon of raw honey about 40 minutes beforehand. Why 40 minutes? Because that's the approximate time it takes for honey's nitric oxide boosting compounds to reach peak concentration in your bloodstream. The result: better blood flow during exertion, more oxygen delivery to working muscles, enhanced performance and endurance. Many men use this strategically before intimacy. The increased pelvic blood flow translates directly to better arousal response and firmer, more sustainable rigidity. Window 3, evening, recovery support. A small teaspoon of raw honey 30 to 60 minutes before bed supports overnight recovery. During deep sleep, your body performs most of its cellular repair and hormone regulation. Having stable blood glucose and active antioxidants circulating during this window enhances recovery efficiency. Some men report deeper sleep and stronger morning erections when they add this evening dose. The mechanism likely involves improved overnight testosterone production. Testosterone synthesis requires adequate blood flow to the testes, which honey supports. The pairing rules. Regardless of which window you're using, follow these pairing guidelines. Never mix honey with processed grains or refined sugars. That defeats the purpose entirely. Always pair honey with either citrus, lemon, lime, warming spices, cinnamon, ginger, or healthy fats, raw nuts, seeds. These combinations enhance absorption and amplify vascular effects. Never heat honey above 40 degrees, 104 degrees. High heat destroys the enzymes, amylase, glucose oxidase, catalase that contribute to honey's therapeutic properties. If you're using all 3 windows, limit total daily honey intake to 2 tablespoons maximum. More isn't better. You're targeting vascular activation, not caloric intake. Walk into any grocery store and you'll see dozens of honey options. Most of them are worthless for circulation purposes. Here's how to identify genuine raw honey that actually contains the compounds we're targeting. Visual indicators. Real raw honey is never perfectly clear. It should be slightly cloudy or opaque. This cloudiness comes from pollen, propolis, and enzymes still suspended in the honey. It should have a darker color, amber, gold, or even dark brown depending on the floral source. Lighter honeys like acacia can still be raw, but darker varieties like buckwheat or manuka typically contain higher flavonoid concentrations. Over time, raw honey crystallizes. If you see granular, semi-solid texture developing in the jar, that's a good sign. It means the honey hasn't been heated or ultra-filtered. Label clues. Look for terms like raw, unfiltered, or unpasteurized on the label. Avoid anything that says pure honey without specifying raw. Pure just means it's 100% honey, but it can still be heavily processed. Check for a single-source floral origin: wildflower, clover, orange blossom, buckwheat. This suggests the honey came from a smaller producer who's more likely to preserve natural quality. Avoid honey from China or other countries with lax food safety regulations. Much of it is adulterated with corn syrup or has been ultrafiltered to remove pollen, which defeats import regulations but also removes beneficial compounds. Price reality. Real raw honey costs more. Expect to pay $12 to $25 per pound depending on variety and source. If you're seeing honey for $5 a pound, it's almost certainly processed. This isn't a luxury purchase, it's a therapeutic intervention. You're using 1 teaspoon per day. A 16-ounce jar lasts over a month. Where to buy? Local farmers markets, beekeepers, health food stores, or reputable online suppliers are your best options. If possible, buy directly from a local beekeeper. You'll get the freshest, least processed product. Let's zoom out and talk about what happens when you maintain this practice for months, not just weeks. Improved circulation isn't just about blood flow, it's about systemic vitality, the feeling that your body is responsive, capable, alive. When your endothelial cells consistently produce adequate nitric oxide, several cascading effects occur. Your blood pressure stabilizes. Nitric oxide is a natural vasodilator, so improved production often leads to modest reductions in systolic and diastolic pressure. Your cardiovascular efficiency improves. Your heart doesn't have to work as hard to push blood through dilated, flexible vessels. Resting heart rate often drops by 3 to 5 beats per minute. Your metabolic function sharpens. Better circulation means better nutrient and hormone delivery to tissues. Insulin sensitivity improves. Fat oxidation increases. Energy feels more stable throughout the day. Your cognitive function benefits. Your brain is 2% of your body weight but consumes 20% of your oxygen. Better cerebral blood flow translates to sharper focus, faster processing, better memory, and yes, your sexual function improves. Erections are fundamentally a vascular event. Better nitric oxide production means better arterial dilation, better blood trapping, better firmness, better sustainability. But here's what matters most: the psychological shift. When your body starts responding the way you remember, when you feel warm, energized, capable, your confidence returns. You stop avoiding physical challenges. You stop declining intimate opportunities. You re-engage with life. That's the real benefit. Not just the physiological changes, but the renewed sense of agency and vitality. Rhetorical question. Is 1 teaspoon of honey every morning too much to ask for feeling like yourself again? Raw honey is powerful, but it works best as part of a broader vitality strategy. Here are the 2 lifestyle factors that compound honey's circulatory benefits. Factor number 1, daily movement. Your vascular system is dynamic. It adapts to demand. If you're sedentary, your body downregulates circulation because it's not needed. But if you move daily, even just 20 to 30 minutes of walking, your endothelium receives constant signals to maintain and enhance nitric oxide production. The combination of honey's biochemical stimulus plus movement's mechanical stimulus creates powerful adaptation. You don't need intense exercise, you just need consistent daily movement that elevates your heart rate moderately. Factor 2, sleep quality. Nitric oxide production follows a circadian rhythm. It's lowest in the morning and highest during deep sleep. If you're sleeping poorly, less than 6 hours, frequent waking, shallow sleep, you're missing the window when your body performs most of its vascular repair. Prioritize 7 to 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep. Keep your bedroom cool and dark. Avoid screens for an hour before bed. When you combine the morning honey protocol with daily movement and quality sleep, the results compound exponentially. Men who do all 3 consistently report not just improved circulation, but transformed vitality. They feel decades younger. They perform better physically and mentally. They re-engage with activities they'd given up on. This isn't hype. It's the cumulative effect of giving your body the conditions it needs to function optimally. Your endothelium wants to produce nitric oxide. Your blood vessels want to dilate. Your tissues want adequate oxygen and nutrients. You just have to stop sabotaging the process and start supporting it. Here's what I want you to do starting tomorrow morning. Commit to 21 consecutive days of the Morning Honey Protocol. Just 3 weeks. Not a lifetime commitment. 3 weeks. Days 1 to 7, establishing the habit. Focus on consistency, not results. Get the routine locked in. Wake up, prepare your honey mixture, drink it, wait 30 minutes, then eat breakfast. Track your compliance. Check off each day on a calendar. Make it visible. During this first week, pay attention to your energy levels. Most men notice steadier morning energy and reduced brain fog by day 5 or 6. Days 8, 14. Noticing physical changes. By the second week, physical signs of improved circulation typically emerge. Warmer hands and feet, faster recovery after exertion, better stamina during physical tasks. Some men notice improved morning erections during this window. That's a direct indicator of enhanced pelvic blood flow. Days 15 to 21. Integration and amplification. By week 3, the protocol should feel automatic. You're not forcing yourself anymore, it's just part of your routine. This is when subjective improvements become undeniable. Better performance during intimacy, clearer thinking, more confidence, a general sense that your body is working with you instead of against you. At the end of 21 days, assess honestly. Did you notice changes? Do you feel better? If the answer is yes, and for most men who actually follow the protocol, it is, then continue indefinitely. This isn't a temporary fix. It's a permanent upgrade to your daily routine. 1 teaspoon, 1 practice, 3 weeks. That's all I'm asking. If this video showed you a simple, evidence-based way to reactivate circulation using something you already own, I need you to do 2 things right now. First, hit that like button. It helps this content reach more men who are quietly struggling with declining vitality and don't know there are natural solutions. Second, subscribe to Men's Vitality Hub. Every week, I release new strategies on hormonal health, prostate function, and natural vitality optimization that actually work. No hype, no gimmicks, just clinical evidence and practical application. Drop a comment with 3 words. Starting tomorrow morning. I read every comment. I want to see who's ready to take action instead of passively hoping things improve. Here's what I want you to remember. 1 teaspoon can reactivate what has slowed. You don't need expensive supplements. You don't need complicated protocols. You don't need to resign yourself to declining energy and performance. You just need raw honey, correct timing, and the discipline to stay consistent for 3 weeks. Your endothelium retains the capacity to produce nitric oxide. Your blood vessels retain the ability to dilate. Your body retains the potential for vitality. You've just been missing the activation signal. Now you have it. I'm Dr. Christine Rodriguez. Your body isn't broken. It's just been operating without the right inputs. Give it what it needs, and it will respond. Start tomorrow. 1 teaspoon, 1 glass, 1 commitment. Take care of yourself. You're worth the effort.